Hey guys, welcome to Yoga Strong. I'm Kendall and today we have an amazing 20-minute flow designed to boost circulation throughout your body to help reduce inflammation and swelling. Oftentimes you can become inflamed or swollen just from long hours sitting at the desk or being on airplanes or even driving. So this flow will incorporate many different inversions to help lift our heels and our heart above our head to reverse the flow of gravity. And also we'll do a lot of different compression postures that when we release the compression, fresh blood flow will flow throughout our body and lubricate our joints, which is just so good and so healthy. So when you're ready, meet me on your mats and we'll get started. Child's pose here. So bring your knees out wide to the outside edges of your mat. Sit your hips towards your heels. Bring your big toes to touch behind you. And extend your arms forward, pressing your palms into the mat to lift your elbows, finding that stretch along your shoulders. Now walk your hands over to the left. Plant your left palm underneath your shoulder and use that as leverage to find a nice deep stretch along the right side of your body, stretching through your ribs and your shoulders. Walk back to center and repeat on the left side, planting your right palm and using that to deepen the stretch along your left side body. Walk back to center. Press up to a tabletop position. We'll start to stretch our shoulders a little bit deeper. Plant your left palm, lift your right arm up. Exhale, thread the needle. Draw your right arm through. Bring your right ear to the mat and extend your left arm forward overhead. Level and square your hips. Engage your core, beginning to find that compression through our joints, through our shoulder joints here. And then once we release, that fresh blood circulates through our joints. Plant your palm, lift your left arm high. Exhale, thread the needle, left arm comes through. Draw your left ear to the mat and bring your right arm forward. Square your hips, engage your core, and feel that compression in the shoulder joint. Lift your left arm high and plant your palms. Now we're going to begin to activate our core right away by doing a couple rounds of bird dog. And if you haven't done bird dog before, this is a core stabilization pose that also will help start the process of compressing and squeezing our muscles in our joints. So lift your left leg back and flex all 5 toes down. Lift your right arm up to frame your ear. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, crunch. Bring your elbow to your knee. Tuck your chin into your chest and draw your forehead to your knee. Hold and breathe. We'll do 3 more. Lengthen and squeeze. Lengthen and squeeze. 1 more. Lengthen and squeeze and hold for 3, 2, 1. Lengthen once more and release. So repeat on the other side. Extend your right leg long behind you, all 5 toes flex down. Root down through your right palm. Lift your left arm up to frame your ear. Take an inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Hug your elbow towards your knee. Tuck your chin into your chest. Engage your core. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. 1 more. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, squeeze, and hold for 3, 2, 1. Release. and bring your palm and your knee back to the mat. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cow here. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly down. Lift your chin up. Exhale, cat. Round your spine. Tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Take a few more rounds of cat-cow here at your own pace. We'll come back to a neutral spine. We'll press up into downward dog. Take an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up to the sky. Sink your heels down towards the mat. Press firmly through the L shapes of your palms. And draw your biceps forward, your triceps back. Allow your head and neck to hang heavy here. And really press through the outside edges of your feet, lifting up on the inner arches. Tilt your tailbone up. Inhale, lift up to the ball mounds of your feet. Exhale, shift your heels to the right, giving us a nice stretch along the back line of our left leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, heels towards the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, find a bear pose. Bend your knees a lot. Draw your chest towards your thighs. Find that compression, really compressing at our hip creases. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or float to the top. Separate your feet about hip width distance. Bend your knees a lot. And find Ragdoll Pose. A great posture for decompressing our spine, lengthening through the back line of our legs. And it's also a great inversion. Dropping our head below our heart, reversing the flow of energy. Slowly release your palms back to the mat. Toe heel your feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Press your palms into your shins. Roll your shoulders back and down. Gaze towards the top edge of your mat. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, mountain pose, right to cactus arms. Lift up, lift back. Open your heart. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, squat and curl. Plant your palms. Rise up onto the ball mounds of your feet. Sink your heels or your hips towards your heels. Tuck your chin into your chest and draw your forehead towards your knee. Really finding that compression in our knee joints and also getting a really nice stretch through the ball mounds of our feet. Now release your heels to the mat. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, chair plane. Bend your knees a lot. Sit your hips back and low. Bring your palms to face each other and squeeze them in towards one another to really engage and activate through your arms. Gaze down, make sure you can see all 10 toes in front of your kneecaps. Inhale, chair pose. Gaze forward. Sit a little bit lower. Exhale, chair plane, really activating our legs here. Inhale, one leg Tadasana, left leg lifts. Bring your left leg to a 90-degree angle. Knee is directly in front of your hip and your heel is under your knee. Flex all 5 toes. Exhale, figure 4. Draw your left heel on top of your right knee, or left ankle rather, on top of your right knee. Sit your hips back and low, finding that really nice stretch along our groin, our hip flexor, the outside of our left leg. And really compressing through our right knee joint. Sit a little bit deeper, press your shoulders away from your ears, roll them down your back. Engage your core, snapping your belly button towards your spine. Inhale, one leg Tadasana, left leg lifts. Exhale, step back to warrior one. Right knee stacks over right ankle. Left foot is sealed into the mat. Toes are pointing at a 45-degree angle. Bring your hands to your hips. Make sure your hips are square and that your hip bones are level. Draw your tailbone down. Spiral your inner thigh inward. And make sure your right knee is stacked on top of your right ankle. Engage your core. Press your shoulders away from your ears and spiral your pinkies in. Inhale here. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Stack your right knee over your ankle. Draw your tailbone towards your back left heel. Press firmly through the outside edge of your left foot, sealing down into the mat, lifting up on your inner arch. Draw your shoulder blades together and down your back, gaze out over your right fingertips. Draw your right kneecap towards the pinky side edge of your right foot to keep your knee from caving in. Inhale, straighten your right leg. It's a nice release. Shift your hips back. Hinge your torso forward. And tick-tock your arms to 6 and 12 o'clock for triangle pose, Trikonasana. Concentrate on engaging your obliques to lift up rather than lifting down. Reach your arms in opposite directions and leverage the connection between your palm and your shin to spiral your torso open. This posture really activates and engages our legs, boosting circulation. One more inhale breath. Exhale it out. Inhale, warrior two. Stacking right knee over right ankle. One more inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Windmill your arms down to the mat. Step your right foot to meet your left. Slowly lower. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. All right, let's move through that on the left side. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or float to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, chair plane. Bring your arms up and back behind you, palms facing one another. Take a deep bend in your knees. Engage your glutes. Inhale, chair. Exhale, chair plane. Inhale, one leg Tadasana. Left leg is your foundation. Your right leg lifts this time. Right knee's at a 90-degree angle. Your knee's in line with your hip. And your right heel is under your knee. Exhale, figure four, palms to heart center. Bring your right ankle to your left knee. Sit your hips back and low. Engage your core, press your shoulders away from your ears. Flex your right foot to protect your knee joint. Inhale, one leg Tadasana. Exhale, slowly and gracefully, find warrior one. Bend deeply into your left knee, stacking your left knee over your left ankle. Root down through your right foot, pressing into the mat, lifting up on your inner arch, sealing your back heel down to the mat, and spiraling your toes 45 degrees. And square your hips, drawing your hips forward, both hip bones in line with one another. Draw your tailbone down, and you'll feel this stretch along your right hip flexor. Press your shoulders away from your ears, spiral your pinkies in. Inhale, breath. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Reach confidently in opposite directions. Stack your left knee over your left ankle. Draw your left kneecap towards the pinky side edge of your left foot. Draw your tailbone down towards your right heel. Shoulders away from your ears, gaze out over your left fingertips. Inhale, straighten and extend your left leg. Flip your palms, shift your hips back, hinge your torso forward. Exhale, triangle pose, Tadasana. Reach your arms in opposite directions. Use your oblique and your core strength to lift your torso up. Slowly come back up to warrior two. For transition, exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Your variation. Always an option to skip the push-up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Moving into some strengthening and balancing. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or float to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. We've been here before. Exhale, eagle pose on the right. Swing your right arm underneath your left. Option to find the double wrap or grab for opposite shoulders. Root down through your left leg. Lift your right leg. Wrap it around your left. Option to find that double bind or use your right foot as a kickstand. Wherever you are, we're squeezing and compressing all of our major joints here. Draw your knees and your elbows towards the midline of your body. Lift your elbows up to shoulder height. Sit your hips down low. Engage your core here, snapping your belly button towards your spine. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, sleeping eagle. Draw your elbows towards your knees. Really finding that compression through our knees, our hip creases, our elbows, and our shoulders. Root down through your left leg, slowly and gracefully kick back your right leg for eagle armed airplane. Extend your elbows forward. Gaze down. Flex all 5 toes down. Square your hips to the mat. Bring your palms to heart center. Bring your right foot to meet your left. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, eagle on the left. Wrap your left arm underneath your right or take the bear hug variation. Root down through your right heel. Lift your left knee. Wrap your leg around your right. Option to find that double bind by hooking your left foot around your right calf. Draw your knees and your elbows towards the midline. Engage your core. Lift your elbows up to shoulder height. Take an inhale. Exhale, sleeping eagle. Draw your elbows towards your knees. Gaze down. Round through your spine. Tricky transition. Root down through your right heel. Unwind your legs. Lift your left leg up and back. All 5 toes flexing down. Gaze down and draw your elbows away from your chest. Bring your palms to heart center. Left foot meets your right. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, back bend, cactus your arms. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Such a nice release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, squat and curl. Come to the ball mounds of your feet. Sit your hips towards your heels. Tuck your chin into your chest. Hold and breathe. All right, now go ahead and release your knees to the mat. Bring your knees together and open your heels out wide to the outside edges of your mat. We're going to move into fixed firm. Bring a block in the event that your hips don't reach the mat. And go ahead and slowly lower down. So if this is uncomfortable or puts stress on your knees, please use a block and just place it right underneath your seat. As long as you're squeezing your knees and your inner thighs together, you're still getting all the same benefits of fixed firm. So the most important part of this posture is the compression between our knees. So we're really focusing on pressing, squeezing them together, and spiraling our inner thighs down. You also want your heels to be just outside of your hips. An option to even bring your heels in enough so that they're squeezing on your hips a little bit. Now, if this is comfortable for you and you feel no pain in your knees, you can slowly lower down onto your forearms. And this will just deepen the stretch along your quads. This is such a great pose for combating inflammation and for boosting circulation, because fixed firm actually acts as if it's sort of like a tourniquet effect, so that when we release this posture, all of that fresh blood will flow through our joints. And that circulation is so great for combating any type of swelling, such as swollen ankles or swollen legs, if that ever happens to you from long days of traveling or sitting at your desk. So slowly press up. And we're going to release that tourniquet by pressing one foot back and then the other. You may even want to stomp out your feet a little bit. Feels really good. Now sit your hips to one side and extend your legs long in front of you. We're going to take a seated forward fold here. Lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward with a long spine. It's not really important that you're folded all the way in, as in your torso's on your legs. We really want to focus on the long lines, so extension through our spine and keeping that length. But draw your tailbone back and flex your feet towards your face. That will also deepen the stretch along the back line of your legs. And then once you've found that length, go ahead and fold inward and round down. And slowly rise. And we're going to take double pigeon here. So bend your left knee and flex your left foot. And then stack your bent right knee on top of your left. So sort of like stacking fire logs here. So keep both feet flexed to protect your knees. And you want to make sure that both of your hip bones are pressing down into the mat. Always an option to use a block if this is a little bit too much for your hips. You can put it right in between your knee and your ankle. And if this isn't enough for you, then crawl your palms forward and slowly round down and fold over your legs. I'm certain you'll feel this. Really compressing through our hip joints here while getting that awesome hip flexor stretch. Slowly rise and swap out your legs. So your right leg will be your base and your left leg will stack on top, flexing both of your feet. Pressing your hips down into the mat. Again, always an option to place that block if the stretch is just a little bit too much. And go ahead and crawl your palms forward and round down if you did so on the other side. When you've had enough, slowly rise and extend your legs forward and scoot your seat forward. Bring your block with you and we'll go ahead and lie down on our backs. Extend your legs overhead. This is called legs up the wall pose. Great as is, you really don't need any props at all, but what I love to do is bring my block and put it right underneath my hips. And you find that perfect spot and it's almost like your legs are weightless. This is such a great posture to do. Even if you can break away from your desk for a couple of minutes, if you've been sitting for a few hours, this will instantly just reverse the flow of energy, get your blood flowing. If you think about it, pretty much the majority of our lives are spent upright. So anytime you can reverse gravity, it does really nice things for your body. Just by reversing that blood flow and reversing the flow of energy, almost feeling weightless and taking all of that pressure off of our joints, off of our ankles and our knees and our hips. These large complex joints that get so much wear and tear and so much impact throughout our daily lives. The other option is to actually use a wall, and you can just bring your hips right up to the wall and rest your legs against a wall, and this will do as well. So if you don't have a block, you can modify by using any wall. So now we're going to move into our plow pose. So from legs up the wall, lift your feet over your head, and you're gonna ultimately stack your hips over your shoulders. Keep your feet flexed, press into the ball mounds of your feet. And you'll feel this really deep stretch through your spine, especially your cervical spine, which is the top of your spine. So you want to be really careful when you're in this posture not to move your head around. And then we'll take a shoulder stand. So slowly lift your legs overhead. I like to keep my toes pointed. You can totally flex your feet too, just as long as they're engaged. And you want to make sure that your joints are stacked. Your ankles over your knees, over your hips. And you can brace your hips with your palms as I'm doing. Your elbows are really anchoring into the mat. And then slowly release, and on the way down, capture your right knee and draw your right knee up and around your rib cage into your right armpit. Squeeze here and find that compression at your hip crease. This is so good for stimulating blood flow and also for stimulating our internal organs. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, supine twist. Draw your knee across your body, extend your right arm long, stack your hips here, and press both shoulders into the mat. With every inhale, find length in your spine, and every exhale, deepen the twist. Inhale, come back to center. Give yourself a squeeze to neutralize your spine. Extend your right leg long this time and hug your left knee up and around your rib cage, squeezing your left hip crease, squeezing and compressing your knee joint. Inhale, exhale, supine twist. Left arm is long, gaze left, stack your hips and press both shoulders into the mat. Inhale back to center, squeeze to neutralize your spine. exhale, happy baby pose. Grab onto the inside arches of your feet and press your tailbone into the mat. You don't want to be lifted in happy baby. You want your head all the way down to your hips to be pressed into the mat. And an option to sway side to side. And then one final compression posture, full wind removing pose. Bring your knees into your chest. With this posture, you keep your head, your shoulders, and your whole spine all the way down to your hips pressed into the mat. You're simply going to grab around your shins, whatever is accessible, and compress your knees into your chest while keeping your hips, your spine, your shoulders, and your head all pressed into the mat. This is a really awesome compression posture right here. Exhale out all of your air. One more inhale, tuck your chin into your chest, draw your forehead towards your knees. And exhale, find final Shavasana. Extend your arms and legs long, take up space, you made it. That was an excellent 20 minutes of work. That was chock full with compressions and twisting postures. So we really got our circulation going. And when you're ready to move on with your day, hug your knees into your chest and slowly roll up to a seat and meet in easy seated position, Sukhasana. All right, my friends, that was your 20-minute circulation flow. I recommend you incorporate this into your weekly routine. It will boost your circulation, decrease inflammation and swelling, as well as compress all of your major joints, getting that healthy blood flow that we love so much. So my name is Kendall. This is Yoga Strong, where form meets fitness, and I look forward to practicing with you again soon.